Take 7. All right, so last time we were talking about finding a GMC front end for the silver and black truck on the lift there, and found one on Marketplace, guy about 70 miles away. So I decided to take the long bed since, you know, there's more room to put stuff. And I got the fenders, the hood, the grill, the headlights, the bumper, everything from this guy. And everything fit perfectly in the bed of this thing. Truck did very well going over there and back and all. And so that worked out good for that. I've been driving this thing some, and then was passed by a new local pull apart, and they happened to have a couple of this era body style. And I don't know if anyone noticed, but the driver door handle on that thing was pretty destroyed. So I was able to find a new handle and got that replaced. So that's much nicer opening and closing the door on it. I do have it posted for sale. Had a couple basically trades offers on it. And I would like to do a video about trades because every time I trade for something, you know, I built this truck, I know everything about it, you know, I've driven it and I know the ins and outs of it, you know, tell the individual, you know, everything I know about it. And then when I end up with theirs, then, you know, it just, trading hasn't worked out for me unless it's for cash. So, you know, you're trading something that you know for an unknown, and you know it's apparently problematic for them or their reason they're trying to sell it or get rid of it. I'm typically trying to sell it or get rid of it because I built it, I've, you know, drove it, enjoyed it, done, you know, that's what I like to do. Apparently I like building them better than owning them. So I don't know how many trucks I have now, but I try not to keep count. But that's the reason I'm selling this one. I mean, I really don't want to. I like the truck. It's a fun truck. I like driving it. But, you know, how many trucks can I have and keep and insure and everything? So I was wanting to sell this one and then put the insurance and all on that one, which is a whole nother story. But, yeah, that's a whole nother story. So anyway, this thing, Friday, went down to Michael's. We towed the Trailblazer down to Michael's. Again, it's about a 60-mile drive one way from me to his shop. And so there's, you know, 2-lane, 55 mile an hour to interstate, and then interstate, you know, 70 mile an hour to more 2-lane back roads, 55 mile an hour zone. And the truck did incredible towing, and I was very pleased with it. I was actually trying to pull off to merge on the interstate, and the thing just blew the tires off the back, and it went sideways with the trailer on me. I mean, I didn't mean to do that. I just, you know, just tried to roll into the throttle to get me going and get onto the entrance ramp on the interstate. And like I say, it just knocked the tires off, and I just let off immediately. So this thing, about 1200, 1500 RPM and up, this thing is just instant boost, and it does very well. It towed the Trailblazer far superior than anything I've built. Well, other than the Quadra-Steer. The Quadra-Steer was the closest LS project that I've gotten to the instant torque of this thing. But like the Quadra-Steer, it runs out quick because you know, it's a trade-off. In order to make the bottom end low instant torque, it's not going to be able to pull out up top. So I was looking at, you know, obviously new turbos and all kind of stuff for this one, but this is an 11, so this is a Gen 1 3.5 EcoBoost. So they only have direct injection, and the Gen 2 came out in 2017, and it has another set of injectors in the intake that help clean the intake runner and the bowls and the around the valves and the cylinder heads. And these are just problematic. And all direct injection, that the first generations that only have the one set of injectors that fuel directly into the cylinder are problematic. So they just overlooked that design feature when they went to the direct injection. So I've heard of these start having a skip or something, and then you have to put air in the cylinder and then tap the valve until the spring's able to pull the valve up and close and seat, and then it's fine until it does it again. So there's that inherent flaw with it, but again, that's all your first generation direct injection stuff, Ford and Chevrolet. So I would like to further this one with new twins, to upgrade the fuel system, do a better intercooler, which these actually have a better intercooler than the later model ones, and you're not really going to get a benefit to horsepower benefit with the intercooler. It's more on a longer pull, you're going to get hotter air, and that's problematic when your inland air temps start climbing. So these actually have a better intercooler than the later ones, and I don't know what year that changed. I'm kind of researching all this currently anyway. But they have somebody has a kit, and it's over $5,000, and it comes with new manifolds to the turbos, a new set of spark plugs, the piping, intercooler, fuel pump, and stuff like that. And then this has a tune from Sean at SSI Performance, and he tuned it, or sent, I told him this is what I have done to the truck. He sent me the tune, and I'm very happy with it. So unloaded, I typically get about 17.3, 17.5 miles per gallon. And then, so on the towing, I wanted to calculate it and see where I was at, because it used about a half a tank, which is what the red truck would do when towing from here to Michaels and back. So, I was really curious to see what this thing did towing, because I had read that these trucks get 8 to 10 miles a gallon towing. And so I got back, filled it up from a half a tank or so. Well, it was maybe a little below a half a tank, but anyway, calculated it got 14 miles to the gallon, which I was shocked, because obviously the red truck, the best it got unloaded was 12, and then got 10 and less towing, if depending on how much throttle you wanted to give it. So I was very impressed by it, and then that's what made me start looking at different turbos, and I've got to mess with it. I'm very happy with it, so we got to mess with it. So but I kind of feel like I want to sell it and get a 17 and up, just because that's already a better platform. And from what I've gathered so far, the 17s already make more power. I think 20 and 30 more horsepower is what I understand. So the package I was looking at claimed 175 more horsepower, and I forget how much torque, but that would put it at their ratings at 450-ish wheel horsepower, and then the torque was higher. It was 460 or 70 foot-pounds. So I was kind of surprised that that's all it did. Just because the instant torque, it just really pulls hard and gets the truck moving. But again, once you get in RPMs, you can tell it falls off, because the turbos are only going to do what they can. And again, that's where the trade-off is. You size it smaller for instant boost, and then it's not gonna, pull and make up top. So that's why I kind of want to find a happy medium. I love how it is, as it is, but of course, there's always room for improvement. So this thing, we got this thing back. So I towed it. I didn't get to drive it home. So my impressions on it are I didn't really get on it or pull it or drive it hard, because I don't do that. But it runs good, but it's still not. It's not what I was expecting. And again, after this truck and the instant boost and the instant torque, and I mean, just this thing is very impressive. I would have never gotten an EcoBoost if I hadn't been in the situation I was with that orange truck, because I just wanted to stay away from them. Didn't really think there were anything to them or whatever. But after owning it and driving it, I mean, this is a really nice truck, and with it being the platinum, it's got the nicer interior. You look at the interior of this is an 11, and this is around the same era, 7 to 13, and the interior in the Ford is much nicer. It's got air conditioned seats, it's got heated seats, and the space, the cab, and this thing is so much bigger than these trucks. Any of these, the cat eyes, this body style, and I don't know about the ones after this, but I noticed that they have some that have a shorter door than this, so I assume that's just an extended cab and they flip the door around. So it's because I was trying to go back and forth with did I want to keep the Ford and sell the Chevrolet, or did I want to mess with the GMC that this hood and all is for, or how did I want to go? And after towing with this thing and seeing the mileage and all it got, I'm very happy with this truck, and I think I'm gonna stay with the Ford, surprisingly. So I've got cam phasers, timing chains, and all that good stuff for this thing. I have not had a chance to get to it, but this week I ordered the tool to hold the cams and all in place, and they got here the other day. So I'm gonna try to get the cam phasers and all that stuff on there, which is why I wanted to avoid these trucks, is because I didn't want to have to deal with that. But if it runs that well and is able to do that kind of mileage, because you're not going to get 17 miles per gallon in this truck, with the 17 and a half, it's pretty good mileage. And and the thing is you got to run premium in both of them. And this one is the 6.2. It's got the high torque cam in it, the 200/205 cam, and it has the 78/75 with a 125 exhaust. It's a stock converter, 6L80, and full 4-inch exhaust, all-wheel drive. And Michael was able to, I guess, brake boost it and then launch, and he said it would spin off 4 tires. Again, I'm not going to drive it like that because it's not mine and I don't want to tear it up. So, I drive it like I drive my EcoBoost, and it still doesn't have that bottom end of this EcoBoost. I think that it needs the .96 exhaust housing in order to achieve the instant torque-like acceleration that this thing has. So if I do turbo the GMC in the shop, then I'm probably going to do a 96 exhaust housing and this 200/205 camshaft. So he's coming to get this truck today. Michael finally got it tuned for us and everything, and he should be good to go. So he's already on the way, I believe, to come get this truck. That one back there, if you recall, the Turbo Colorado, he traded the Turbo Colorado for that thing. It's like a 5.3 with a 4L60. And guess why it's here? The 4L60. So the transmission, he was saying that something about the reverse was slipping in reverse or something. So I told him he only needed that when he went backwards, and apparently he really wanted to go backwards. So got it in here. The wonderful genius person that put the truck together welded the Y pipe to the headers, so I had to cut the exhaust off to get the transmission out. And transmission's at my buddy's shop getting built right now. He just called me and said that the case was actually cracked, so I've got another case in the shop. So after this gets picked up, I'm probably gonna have to run that case out there to him so he can get it back together for us. But again, it's like a 5.3 with what the Chupacabra cam, and it's got the Trailblazer SS replica looking wheels on it, and I don't know, that's a truck, another truck. So this thing right here, this is the GMC Silverado, and now it's GMC again. We wanted to get rid of the 308, and I encountered a problem that the pinion bearing on the they call this the 09 and newer rear end, and this pinion bearing, the diameter of this is different than the earlier 10 bolts. So it's a KOYO bearing, and it's a STA 4195 or something, and I could not find that bearing anywhere local. The only one I found was online, and it was about $75, and it shipped. So I'm waiting on that to be able to get this rear end back together so I can get it off my lift. That was totally not calculated. I had not seen that before. Let's see if I can find. So this is the 342 rear end, and it had a G80 in it. So this is the race that goes inside that housing. And then if you look right here, this is what you see on a normal 10 bolt. So you can see that there's a little bit of a size difference. So that's very, very unfortunate, because I can't get this rear end back together. And then the 308's got the huge pinion. But so that's where I'm at on that thing. I got it all cleaned up. I got the pinion shim on there and waiting for that bearing so I can get it pressed on here and then get this truck back together. So we got the one GMC fender on it, kind of did that for mock-up, and then my buddy is gonna paint it. I think we're gonna try to paint it today if we can. It shouldn't have any problem drying because it's been about 100 degrees around here, so it's been brutally hot, and it's only June. So I got to get my AC installed. So I'm trying to get down and not taking in any more work right now until I can get my truck, the phasers and all done on that, which they're right here in this box. This is all the Ford stuff for the phasers and whatnot. So this is about $1,200. Allegedly the guy got me his employee discount or something, so I don't know. That was a lot of money. Like I say, I think it was about $1,200, but never done one, so hopefully it won't be too bad. I want to start on it this week. I want to get it done this week. So anyway, that's the update on all these things. 308 to 342, Chevrolet front end to GMC swap, and then these trucks out here. So that's the update for now.